Arcadian Vanguard presents the Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Thursday, April 20th, 2023. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with last night's episode of AEW Dynamite broadcast live on TBS from the Peterson Event Center in Pittsburgh. In the main event, Sammy Guevara defeated Jungle Boy Jack Perry by countout thanks to outside interference from AEW World Champion MJF.
Sammy, he just grabbed Bryce Remsburg and... Wait! MJF! That was the ring on his right hand! Oh, that was so slick! Wow! MJF just laid out Jack Perry! No!
Wow!
No!
That's gonna be it.
Oh, wow, brother!
The winner of this match by count, Sammy Guevara.
Gotta give the man credit. The world champ is smart.
MJF,
That's his buddy.
colluding with Sammy Guevara.
Oh my God, Max is a little too excited here.
The match was billed as part of the Pillars tournament announced earlier in the show by MJF, in which Perry, Guevara, and Darby Allin would compete for the chance to face MJF for the title next month at Double or Nothing. Allin received a bye in the opening round and is scheduled to face Guevara on next week's Dynamite, with the winner of that match getting the title shot. Wardlow regained the TNT Championship during the show, pinning Powerhouse Hobbs after a series of powerbombs.
Wardlow! Powerbomb! The cover! All three powerbombs for the three-time TNT champion!
The win makes Wardlow the third person to win 3 TNT titles after Cody Rhodes and Sammy Guevara, and ends Hobbs' reign at 42 days. In a backstage promo prior to the match, Wardlow was revealed to have taken on Arn Anderson as his new manager. Adam Cole and Britt Baker were ambushed by the Outcasts and the Jericho Appreciation Society in an in-ring promo segment, which began as a confrontation between Jericho and Cole. In another in-ring segment, the Blackpool Combat Club jumped the Elite, but Konosuke Takeshita made the save and declared his allegiance to the Elite. In other results, AEW World Women's Champion Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker beat Ruby Soho and Toni Storm of the Outsiders. The Acclaimed and Billy Gunn beat the JAS, and Jay White defeated Commander. Following the match, Tony Khan announced on Twitter that Commander had officially signed with AEW. In injury news, during an appearance on the Battleground podcast, Big E provided an update on the neck injury that has kept him on the shelf for the past year.
Yeah, well, it's just a complicated fracture. I broke my C1 in 2 places, so that Jefferson fracture is what it's called. It just takes a little bit more time to heal. So we just did the 1-year scans after WrestleMania. It was a little bit later because of WrestleMania. So we have to sit down with the doctors at some point and kind of figure out what the next step is. But from my perspective, like you said, I feel great. I have no function issues, no pain issues. I've been in the gym since 2 weeks after I broke my neck. Just feeling great, and I'm really grateful for all that. It's just, obviously, you know, your neck has to be in a certain condition to deal with the rigors of being in the ring on a nightly basis.
Right. Big E sustained the injury in March of last year after taking an overhead belly-to-belly suplex from Ridge Holland on the floor outside the ring during a match on SmackDown. This morning, New Japan Pro Wrestling announced that longtime company fixture Hiroshi Tanahashi has officially been pulled from New Japan's current tour due to a rib injury. Tanahashi had been scheduled for New Japan's Road to Dontaku events, which begin today in Sanjo Ojinara, but suffered a rib injury during a tag team match this past Saturday night in Washington, D.C., which is now forcing him off the tour. As of now, Tanahashi is still scheduled to face Will Ospreay at the company's event in Long Beach, California on May 21st, with the winner moving on to face Lance Archer in Osaka on June 4th to determine Kenny Omega's next opponent for the IWGP United States title at AEW and New Japan's Forbidden Door 2. In other health-related news, AEW ring announcer Justin Roberts has tested positive for COVID-19, which is why he was not present for last night's Dynamite and Rampage tapings, according to a post on Roberts' Instagram account. Roberts indicated that he expects to be back to work for next week's taping after the appropriate period of social distancing. Dasha Fuentes filled in for Roberts for last night's Dynamite and Rampage tapings. In ratings news, last Tuesday's episode of NXT drew 565,000 viewers to the USA Network, according to Showbuzz Daily. That total is up 7% from last week's audience of 528,000. The rating for the show in the key 18 to 49-year-old demographic was 0.14, up nearly 8% from last week's 0.13 rating, according to WrestleNomics. That figure translates to 183,000 viewers. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.